But my question is, what type of life insurance should we get? And also, what other important steps should we take now that we are married?
Yeah, that's a great question, Charles. So I'm assuming you guys don't have any kids.
Correct.
And how much do you both make? I guess you work both at work outside the home?
Yeah. And by the way, we have a dog that is probably worse than having a kid, but we make a combined of about $150K.
Okay.
How much do you make and how much does she make?
I am about 100 and she is about 50.
Okay. Well, the way we always look at life insurance is that if someone is dependent upon your income, that's when you need to take out life insurance. So when you guys get to a position that she is going to be dependent upon yours, more than likely, more so than you are hers at this point. And so running the numbers and saying, okay, to get, about 10 to 12 times your annual income. And I would go ahead and do that for each of you because you are married, even though you don't have kids right now. So for kids, it's a 100% absolutely get life insurance. But when it's newlyweds and you guys start your life, and if you start living your life off of $150,000 and something happens to you or her in that case, you guys are going to need to be able to replenish that income, and that's where life insurance comes in. And you guys, you sound young. How old are you guys?
30. I'm 35 and she's 32.
Okay. That's great. Well, my husband and I were right about the same age as you all, and we actually just upped ours about 2 months ago. And I just am reminded with term life insurance how inexpensive it is, like how much you can get, and it's really not that expensive at all. And so to go forward with that, that's what I would recommend.
Yeah, Zander Insurance is who we suggest because they shop a bunch of different companies. And I've been having a bunch of interaction with Jeff Zander, the guy that owns that the COVID is actually going to affect rates. Particularly older people rates, and it hasn't yet, and so we may see life insurance rates not drastically go up, but we may see a little bump in them for your age group. And if you're 65 or something like that, you may see a pretty good bump. So any of you out there considering life insurance and you're quarantined at home, you're under a stay-at-home order, you're trying to do some things like, Charles is asking good questions about planning and that kind of stuff right now, I would jump in there right now and get an application in because that locks your rates in on these before we do see an increase, because it may be 30, 60, 90 days before these companies get around to bumping the rates, but they see stuff like this in the marketplace, a COVID pandemic, and they go, oh, yeah, there we go. It's like hurricanes hitting Florida. 6 months later, you see 2 hurricanes hit Florida. 6 months later, you see rates go up substantially on homeowners down there. And so that kind of a thing is what we may be experiencing. We're not sure yet, but there's a lot of industry chatter about it. The other thing you can do is jump on MamaBearLegalForms.com, get your wills done. Just tighten up the stuff and going, okay, we're married. I want to make sure she's taken care of. I want to make sure I'm taken care of. If something happens to her, I don't have to go talk to her mother about her car. It's now my wife's car. And so, that kind of stuff, you need to have the wills done. And Rachel, the thing that I've watched you all start your lives and your brothers and sisters with their spouses start their lives is when you get the life insurance in place, you get the wills in place, you do that legacy drawer where you've got all the things in there in a certain drawer in the house where everybody knows what's going on. There really is an added sense of peace that goes with that, comes from that planning, isn't there?
Yeah, and I think it's a piece you don't think about day to day, right? Like if you're just running the rat race and going, but it's when something occurs or something happens that makes you stop and think, oh gosh, if something happened to him, do I know where everything is? Like it's moments like that you realize, oh wow. So it may not be an angst that's high up in your spirit right now, but it's one that you need to check in and say, okay, yeah, just because it doesn't feel urgent right now, it could be urgent because you never know when something could happen. And so as quickly as you can get these things in place,
yeah, it's not that I'm telling you to do this because of COVID. That's not the thing, or coronavirus. It's not.
But it does bring up.
You have the time on your hands to clean out your closet. You have the time on your hands to clean out your financial stuff and make sure you've got these things in order. And this is a good time to do your will. It's a good time to do your stuff.
Well, you're not doing it out of fear, sure, but I'll just say from personal experience, because of COVID, I've been thinking like, okay, it makes you ask those questions. If something happens, are we good? And again, you're not doing it out of fear, you're doing it out of wisdom, because you never know what could happen. And so, that life insurance, that will, getting everything organized, again, it's just being wise. And when there is an angst or something comes up of thinking, oh gosh, well, what if, it's all planned out. It's all right there. And it's like, oh, that's where the peace comes that you don't realize you need until something happens.
Well, even if it's just like, if everything's organized and, mom knows to go to this drawer, everything is in that drawer.
Or dad knows to go to that drawer too.
Yeah, right,
I talked to some guys that
I was talking about your mom.
Oh, yeah.
But she knows to do that. She knows right there. That's where the wills are. That's where the trusts are. That's where all the contact information for the investments is. It's where everything is on the house, the file on the houses, the different properties. And then past that, she knows who to contact. Obviously, your husband, Winston, runs all of our real estate. So she's going to sit down with him, and she gets a review on that every year from him anyway. She gets a review from our investment people every year on the other stuff. And so it's all dialed in. And it doesn't take a lot of work to stay up to date on it.